All right, so Ben, we'll go back to the last win over Florida State. Just a big win overall. Would the team execute well overall in that Vic to get that win?
I think we just came out with some great energy. We never let up. We just kept on attacking, and then we just ran out our plays the way we were supposed to.
We talked earlier in the season. The big emphasis was defense and rebounding, and you were able to out rebound them by 14, and you had a double as well. Just how crucial has that been, the rebounding and defense, towards the success so far this year?
It's a big component. I mean, I think we mentioned earlier. It's like we do a bunch of rebounding drills, do a bunch of defensive drills, just because we know it's such a big deal. And I think we looked into it, and it's like every game that Florida State lost in the rebounding, they also either lost or was a lot closer. So we knew if we wanted to have a chance, we had to beat them on the boards.
Have expectations kind of before the season? There were lower expectations about how many games you win in the ACC. You've surpassed those already, and you still have a live season to go. Has the mood changed in the locker room that we could be a postseason team? We have a chance to have a winning record, do a lot of things like that?
I think the mood's always been like that. We always believed in ourselves, whether or not the outside sources. But now it's just kind of like reconfirming that, we're just as good as any other team. We can beat anybody. So we just need to keep on doing that, I guess.
You've had a challenge with each team you face in the ACC as far as big men go. What do you see from Notre Dame?
Notre Dame, I mean, they're just a great team all around. They play they're not like a group of individuals. They play really well as a team, and they never really give up. So I think I can picture this game being just a battle for 40 straight minutes.
How would you describe how the zone you play now at 2-3 is different than? I know you didn't play a ton previously, but how it's different?
It's a little hard to explain. But it's like our rotations are a little bit different necessarily. So it's like, it's like. In a typical 2-3 zone, it's kind of like this guy has this area or that area.
Right.
Ours, it's like if this guy's doing this and this guy comes over here and takes that. So it's a little bit more complex. So it takes a little while to get used to it. But there's times if everyone's doing their job right, it's very hard to do anything against.
Is it? I mean, it seems like. I remember Quinn was talking about this. You want to be 1-5, and it seems like there's a real emphasis on contracting once the ball gets in the lane.
It's pretty much like react to wherever the ball is. So it's like if the ball comes in, everyone sinks down. This guy comes back. So it's like everyone's reacting to the ball. No one's really worried about just the guys in the area. They're worried about everyone in the area plus wherever the ball is and what the ball's doing.
So you have to pay a little more attention, I guess.
Yeah.
Coach made a change in the starting lineup against Florida State, put Corey in the lineup. What does he bring to the table?
He's just a great energy guy. He's a really tough guy, and he's one of our better defensive players. And I think he just did a great job of helping us on the defensive end and adding a little extra toughness to our overall game.
When you're 1-3-1, are you always in the middle, or do they move you around?
I'm typically always in the middle.
Yeah, okay. It's interesting. I'm curious. Have you faced a 1-3-1 in the time you played? You can think of?
I mean, maybe not consistently. Every now and then, maybe just to mix things up. But no.
What makes that effective? You think?
I think it's something new. You don't see it a whole lot, so it's hard for teams to practice for it, and especially just the way we rotate it and everything. So I think it's just kind of a good thing to keep people on their toes.
Yeah.
Does he put Quentin on the top of the zone because of his long arms?
Yeah, if Quentin's in, he'll be on the top. If 80's in, he'll have him on top. Just so they want someone who's long and athletic to kind of mess with it.
Do you get the sense that the teams have maybe they're first trying to spend 5-10 seconds recognizing what you guys are doing before they can kind of start?
I do think they have some trouble, and we also make sure that sometimes after coming out of timeout or something, if they tell us to go into either 2-3 or 1-3-1, we try to hide it a little bit so that way they can't prepare until they already had the ball in. So we try to be as sneaky as possible, I guess.
I think you said it before, but it sounds like it's a fun way to play.
It's fun to mix it up, keep people on their toes.
Notice last game, Coach was holding up the cards for the defensive plays. Is that something new he decided to do? Or?
I think it's something that especially if it's in a loud environment like that, he'll do it just to make sure that it's clear. And I think in that instance, it was most of the time we'll tell us the defense is in the timeout, so we'll know it. But I think he decided to do a change on the fly, so that way just kind of there's no questioning it.
And of course, he makes sure